Welcome back to this class. In our previous class, we learned about how to create a form from scratch, and then we were able to do this. Created this form requesting for email, name, gender, and all like that. So today we want to look at how we can validate our responses. Now, validating our responses means getting exactly what you expect from all the people that are responding to your questionnaire or to your form. For instance, if you're asking for email address, then you decide to type in anything and it goes. And also, if you're asking for maybe phone number or something, you just put anything as you wish, which might be a wrong entry. And by the time you are analyzing this data, we have a lot of issues to confront. So in order to get exactly what you want, we need to validate the responses. Now, in a Google form, we can only validate three types of questions. Responses for three types of questions. The first one is for short answers. Secondly, for paragraphs. The third one is for check boxes. So every other responses, you cannot validate them. So meaning if you want any response that needs validation, then you make the question either requesting for short answer or paragraphs or check boxes. So let's start from email address for instance. Now, if you ask them to input the email address, let's preview this one and see. Go to preview. Let's see. Under the email address, I can decide to put anything I wish. For instance, let me say I put PHPG. By the time I move to the next one, you can see it accepted the entry. And you and I know that this one is not an email address. So if you want to validate the kind of entry you get in, you need to do response validation. So let's go back to the form and do the same. Now, to validate your response or anything short answer, you come to these three dots indicating more options. So click on that three dots, you will see response validation. Response validation. Before response validation, you may decide to put description just like you put on my new form. I will describe what the form is for. Each of the questions can also be described. Let's say description, say enter valid email address. Enter valid email address. Or let's say enter your valid email address. So that description will tell the person the type of entry you want there. Now let's go back to validation. If you want to validate your response, you click this response validation. Now you can see it has brought out this line for us. Now we have different types of validation. If you click this drop down, you will see we have number, we have text, we have length, we have regular expression. Now, number means anything you enter there must be in digits, that is number, nothing like text. If you want to collect phone number, for instance, phone number should not have a letter, so it must be number. But text means anything text, that is for alphanumeric on your keyboard. Then length means okay, this is the number of character I want. For instance, maybe phone number should not be more than 11 digits. So you can put length. If you ask you which one do you want, click this drop down. Is it maximum character count or minimum? At times it may be minimum, it must not be less than so character, but if you are using phone number, you use maximum. Okay, maximum, the number is what? Let's say 11. Then you can customize the error text. If the person enters something different for what you want, what error message should the person see. So that is that about that. But in the issue of email, under email we use text. We validate it as text. Select text. Come to this. What type of text? Is it the text that contains specific letter or that does not contain, or email or URL? Now what we want to do here is to get email address. So we click email, meaning that everything that enters this email address section should be email. Then customize error text. Let's say if the person enters something different, what error should the person see? You can say wrong email address, for instance. This one you can do it at your own discretion. So wrong email address, then there we go. So let's go and check. Let's preview it and see if that one has been affected. Now, email address, you can see the description. Enter your valid email address. So let's put the email address. Let's put our GGHH again and try to move away. You can see it's a wrong email address. Now let's put, let's say .com, gg.com. Let's go away. Still the same thing, meaning that email address must contain at and dot something. So let's say gggh at gh.ch. You can see it has seen it as an email address. And this one also may not give you the correct email address, but at least we know that anybody that enters something like this is actually pointing to a particular domain. So that is how to do that for email. Another thing you can do under email, you can say, okay, not email, contains. What do you want it to contain? You put it under this text. Let's say for contain at gmail.com. Maybe you are collecting gmail.com email. So collect contains at gmail.com. So let's see. If you put anything different from at gmail.com, it will not give you the correct one. Let's put our gggh again and see whether it will apply. So gggh at gh.ch or cg. So you can see it's not good. So until it is at gmail.com, that's when it will apply. If it's not at gmail.com, it will not go. So it must contain that at gmail.com. It may contain more than that, but that at gmail.com must be part of the expression. So that is how to validate our email. So let's take it back to text that contains email. And then if it is wrong, put it as email. So another one is paragraph. Let's add a new question to this. Don't forget to come to this add question, and let's say detail of your experience. Experience with us. So if you are asking for details now, telling me it will even automatically suggest paragraph for you, because you are talking about long paragraph. And I told you that you can only validate responses for short answer, paragraph, and check boxes. So let's try and see other ones that are not check boxes or this paragraph. Okay, let's take a look at this drop down and try to validate it. See what we get. You can see there's no option for validation. The only thing we can do is to shuffle the options, that is the order of the options. So that if you send this to a group of people, at the time the first person opens it, PhD might be on the option 4, certificate option 5. For another person, when he opens again, to have reshuffled. PhD might be on 1, while certificate might be on 4. So that is the only thing you can do in that. So let's go back to our paragraph and do one thing or the other before we move away from this one. Okay, detail of your experience with us. So this one also, let's try and validate the response. Now, when you are asking for long details, the only thing you can do here is length. For paragraph, you can only validate it as length or regular expression. So let's look at length. What is the maximum or minimum count? Maybe 200 words, 500, 2000, like that. So you put it there. Let's say we want 10, minimum of 10, meaning that anything you are putting must be more than 10. Let's say 2 shots. If it is not minimum of 10, it should be 2 shots. So let's view it and see how it works. Let's enter this detail of the experience with us. Let us let's move to another page. You can see it's accepted. This is good. Let's count the number of characters. TH is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Space bar is also counted. So let's remove this and reduce it. Let me put all okay. Move away from it. You can see 2 shots because the number of characters is now up to 10. So that is how to validate that. And the last validation we're going to be doing is for checklist. I think we have one checklist. Yes, we have available 2 boxes. So this one is for check boxes, and to validate it, you do the same thing. Click on that and shuffle the other as in the case of multiple choice or drop down. But what we're after is response validation. So here, the only thing you can do when it comes to check boxes is either to select at least among the list, or select at most among, or select exactly. Maybe you want the person to select just 3 of these. Just 3. It must not be less than 3 and it must not be more than 3. You tell the person to select exactly how many. 3. But if you want them to select more than 1, you use select at least 1. Sorry, to select more than 1 should be at least 2, meaning that it's more than 1. So when you are done, you can say 2 everything you need to do. Click the preview, then see how it works. Let's go to the tools and select just only 1. You can see 2 little selection. Select 2, you can see now it's 5. So that is how it works. But let's put it as let's say exactly, select exactly 4. That is just 4 of them. Let's put this description as it must be 4 selections. Let's go ahead and check from review. Don't forget to use response validation to monitor what you get as response so that you can get exactly what you want. So as you are selecting, you can see it must be 4 selections. So until I get 4, this thing will not disappear. So that's how to validate responses on Google Form. So if you have any question, please kindly input that in the comment section. Then you can do well by sharing this link, the channel link to others so that they can also benefit. And also please do well to subscribe to this channel so that as we are dropping new tutorials, you'll be seeing and getting them. Thank you for your time.